watching right now?
Out of the big-time fighters now?
Yeah.
Pacquiao looks sensational his last fight. I said there's nobody in boxing or fighting that looks sensational.
Sensational.
Mike Tyson has joined the list of those who see Manny Pacquiao dominating in training and believe he could still have something real left in him. Watching footage of Pacquiao's recent sessions, Tyson didn't sound like someone caught up in nostalgia or trying to flatter a fellow legend. His take was grounded, direct, and surprising. "He's still fast," Tyson said. "He looks like the same guy who fought years ago. It's crazy."
What do you think of Barrios? He's a big, strong, he's young, he's 30. You have 16 years on him, Manny.
Don't worry about it.
You know, Manny, for a lot of people, you are the greatest fighter in history, the only champion in 4 different decades. When you beat Barrios, what does that say?
Oh, it's a big thing for me.
And congratulations, you're in the Hall of Fame.
Yes, June. How are you, madam? Thank you.
Coming from Tyson, that kind of statement means more than just admiration. Tyson understands how aging changes a fighter. He's been through it himself, he's come back after long layoffs, and he's felt the difference in how the body responds. So when he says Pacquiao looks dangerous again, he's not speaking casually. He's not hitting like an old man. Tyson continued, "He's still got the speed, the movement, the power. I think he shocks the world. People don't know how dangerous that is."
Oscar, he's comeback. He's coming back.
Yeah,
thank you. For the WBC title at 147.
Thank you
I wish him all the best.
Cuadra, I love him.
Can he do it?
Cuadra?
Can he do it? Absolutely.
It's a Mexican brand.
Manny
Cuadra.
Pacquiao's
Oscar needs
he's a legend, you know.
some nice ones. Thank you.
He's a legend. I think he can do it. Absolutely. I mean, it's not going to be easy, but I think he can do it. Yeah.
Pacquiao is 46 years old. He's stepping back into a real fight, not an exhibition, against Mario Barrios, who is 30 and holds the WBC interim welterweight title. Barrios didn't win the belt in the ring, but he's younger, fresher, and physically bigger. Most would assume that alone gives him the edge, but Tyson, along with a few other experienced names, sees it differently. "He's not coming back for fun," Tyson said. "That's a man who wants to win again. This isn't a comeback for vanity. Pacquiao has always said he would only fight again if he could compete at the highest level. The decision to fight Barrios, and not a retired name or a YouTuber, shows intent. It suggests Pacquiao sees something in Barrios, something he can exploit. That idea isn't just coming from Tyson.
In Japan, the exhibition he had with Akpo. Why do you think they're making a lot of it? They say he didn't look good.
That is a real exhibition for Manny in the last year. But this coming fight on July 19, this is a real fight. Yeah, this is a big fight.
So they're gonna see a different Manny.
Yeah. I promise. As a head coach, of course, all the team captains will work together with that. All the people, they have a comment that Manny is 46 years old, but I show you.
You know, Manny, people love him. He's a
Paulie Malignaggi, former two-weight world champion and now analyst, laid it out without sugarcoating anything. "Honestly, I think this is a winnable fight for Pacquiao," he said. "I think Barrios is the weakest link of all the title holders in the welterweight division." Malignaggi believes that even a diminished Pacquiao could beat Barrios. "It's a risk," he admitted, "but if he's sharp and in shape, this is the kind of guy he can beat." He was quick to clarify that he doesn't think Pacquiao is what he once was, but even 70 or 80% of that fighter might be enough here. "It's about legs and timing now," he added. "If Manny's legs are still working and he can pull the trigger, he beats this guy."
It's 100% disrespectful. This is a clown fight. This is a more clown fight than the Jake Paul Mike Tyson. This is an outrage. People should be up in arms about this fight. This is so disrespectful. Barrios loses this fight, he should quit boxing. You let Manny Pacquiao, an old dude who stopped boxing, and then you're his first fight back? You are disrespectful as a champ.
What makes this return more interesting is how seriously Pacquiao is taking it. This isn't the same version of him who coasted through an exhibition with DKU in 2022. That one looked like a politician staying active. This one looks like a fighter on a mission. His reunion with longtime trainer Freddie Roach at Wildcard Gym confirmed it. Roach, who's seen every version of Pacquiao since the early 2000s, said, "Manny looks great. His speed is still there. His footwork is sharp. We're taking it one day at a time, but the signs are all good."
Manny Pacquiao versus Mario Barrios? Okay, if this was for a massive bag, I get it. But you're fighting for a non-pay-per-view event, so you're going to be fighting for free against a guy like Manny Pacquiao. Why? There are plenty of other fights to be making. But yet we're getting Manny Pacquiao and Mario Barrios. Is Manny Pacquiao even ready to fight in the ring? Why is he... I get he still loves the sport, but listen. You are an all-time great, and a legend of the sport, a Hall of Famer. Why return? Why not just go pursue other things? If anything, do the little cheap expedition fights that you did last year, or those that are...
Chris Algieri, who fought Pacquiao in 2014 and got dropped 6 times in the process, was also surprised. "That doesn't look like an exhibition Manny," Algieri said. "This looks like the guy I fought. The speed's there. The balance is there." Algieri wasn't throwing compliments for attention. He's seen what a fully prepared Pacquiao feels like in the ring, and what he's watching now reminds him of that. "I've always said Manny is the best fighter I've ever been in the ring with. He's not just fast, he's smart, he sets traps, he controls space."
Right, just kind of...
When you do the head boxing like that, what is that for? Because you can apply that habit, you become a habit. When you start boxing like...
Woo! The speed is still there. Woo!
The underlying point Algieri and Malignaggi both make is that Barrios might not be the kind of fighter who can handle a technically clean, active Pacquiao, even today. Barrios was dropped by Gervonta Davis and struggled against Keith Thurman. He won the WBC interim belt in a relatively underwhelming performance. "Barrios is vulnerable," Malignaggi said. "He gets hit clean, he makes mistakes, and Manny's the last guy you want to make mistakes against." Juan Manuel Marquez, who went to war with Pacquiao 4 times and knocked him out in their final bout, approached it more cautiously. "Pacquiao has nothing left to prove," Marquez said, "but I understand why he wants to come back. Fighters are fighters. If he feels good, he has every right to try."
Barrios doing the everything but unifying with boots. Hey man, let me tell you, Barrios has always been the biggest fight, and now if he fights and beats Pacquiao, he's the bigger fight, you know? And I told y'all, I'm not gonna let y'all forget, I told y'all that I was told Barrios would be the last piece. He'd be the last piece, you know? He's gonna wait, just like Plant did, Barrios will. They already offered Barrios an offer to fight Norman, and he turned it down. They said they was busy, and obviously they was. Look, the Pacquiao news broke. So Barrios will be the last piece. They're gonna sell that belt to Boots and Eddie for top dollar.
That view reflects a common feeling among retired champions. If the hunger is real, it never really leaves. But Mark has added a more technical warning. It's about reflexes. You can train for months, you can look great on mitts, but when punches start flying, does your body react the way it used to? For Marquez, the question is not whether Pacquiao looks good now. It's whether he holds up after 6 rounds. Manny has to control the fight early. He has to make Barrios think. If he gets pushed back, it's going to be difficult. That point echoes what Algieri said about the rhythm. Manny has always been a rhythm fighter. If he finds that rhythm in the first 2 rounds, Barrios is going to have a long night.
It's a joke, really. There's a thought. It's an absolute joke. I love Manny Pacquiao. Love everything about him. An all-time great in terms of what he's done previous, but that doesn't entitle you to just walk back in after 6 years and get a number 4 ranking with the WBC and fight for a world title. What about all the other guys that are waiting around? It's wrong. We seen Manny Pacquiao fight an exhibition against a kickboxer in his last fight, and kickboxers can't box, right? I've seen world champion kickboxers coming and sparring boxers.
One reason Pacquiao remains dangerous is that he never relied on size. His whole career, he was undersized. He fought and beat bigger men using speed, angles, and constant motion. Those are things that fade with age, but they don't disappear overnight. If they're still 80% intact, as Malignaggi put it, that's still a serious threat to a fighter like Barrios, who doesn't have the footwork or reflexes of a top-tier welterweight. Ricky Hatton, who was famously knocked out by Pacquiao in 2009, was more critical. I love Manny, I really do, Hatton said. But what's he doing getting a title shot after all this time? Hatton's issue wasn't with Pacquiao's ability, but with the sport's willingness to hand out rankings based on name value. It just doesn't make sense. It's great for headlines, but what does it say about the sport? That kind of pushback is common, especially in an era where sanctioning bodies often bend the rules for big names.
I think it's terrible, to be honest with you. I mean, it just sort of like sums up the way boxing's going these days. WBC, I think, is for so many years has been known as the most respected out there. You know, the famous green belt. You know, boxing just seems to turn a corner. You know, a 58-year-old Mike Tyson fighting Jake Paul. 46-year-old Manny Pacquiao coming back, not just coming back after years of time, straight into the top 10 of the world rankings and fighting for the most prestigious belt of the WBC. It's unfair to the fighters that have.
Still, Hatton couldn't dismiss Pacquiao's skill. He's got the skill. I just worry about the body. It's been a long time. He's not 36, he's 46. It's a different game now. That's where the fight becomes compelling. Not because Pacquiao is trying to turn back time, but because he's trying to test how much he really has left, on his terms, in a real fight, against a young opponent with something to lose. The landscape of boxing in 2025 is different. Tyson, who is preparing to fight Jake Paul, understands the shift. This sport is different now, he said. But if I'm fighting and Manny's fighting, people are watching. I'm 58, he's 46, but we can still do this. That shift isn't just about age, it's about control. Older fighters are making their own decisions and choosing how they go out.
This is a bad idea. Out of nowhere, the WBC decides they want their welterweight champion, Mario Barrios, to defend his belt against Manny Pacquiao. About 7 to 8, maybe 9, 10 years ago, I would have said, hells yeah, if we had a Manny Pacquiao championship fight. But Manny's been retired for 4 years. He's 46 years old. His last fight was in 2021, and he lost to Ugas in a unanimous decision. I watched his exhibition bout against the kickboxer guy in Japan. And again, I think people will look at this and go, well, Jake Paul fought Mike Tyson, and yeah, that happened. And I also said that Mike was going to get really badly hurt, and it was a terrible idea for him to do that.
For Pacquiao, this fight isn't about building a comeback run. It's one fight, one belt, one challenge. A win over Barrios doesn't make him a pound-for-pound star again, but it makes a statement. It shows he didn't leave because he had to. He left on top and is now choosing to come back. There's risk in that. There's always risk. But if the people who've seen him up close are right, then Barrios might be walking into more than he expected. Tyson said it clearly. He's still got it. Watch what he does.
D-Dubs, you're the boxing guy.
Man, why? I just want to know why. Why? Dog, you must be... The money must be funny. And this time, you know, you want to come back and you fight this young kid, and this kid, Barrios.
Teddy Atlas has never been one to sugarcoat. When he speaks on a fighter's future, he speaks from years of observing exactly what happens when fighters push past the point they should have stopped. On his podcast, The Fight with Teddy Atlas, the International Boxing Hall of Fame trainer didn't hold back about his concerns for Manny Pacquiao. He's seen too much to pretend that everything will be fine just because Pacquiao is a legend. I'm very concerned, Atlas said. I don't want to stop anyone from making a living or making money, but I'm very concerned with a guy, a great man, who's helped his people, who's fought for his people, who's lifted his people up, who's given away money to his people, but he gave away money to his people that is in a position now that he has to fight at 46 and after 72 fights.
Today and Twitter, he says, in quote, "I'm back," end quote. He also wrote on social media, he's added, "Let's make history," end quote. Now, Pacquiao, we're going to talk about his training a little bit, all the critical howl from the public about him coming back, and also what Roach, his trainer, might have to say. Pacquiao, guys, will break his own record as the oldest welterweight champ ever if he does pull it off. So what do you guys think about that?
For Atlas, this isn't about doubting Pacquiao's legacy or his will. He knows what Pacquiao has done in and out of the ring. That's not the problem. The problem for him is what time does to a fighter, and how unforgiving the sport is when a man like Pacquiao chooses to fight again under real conditions. He watched the fight against Yordenis Ugas back in 2021. He saw the signs. Pacquiao looked slower, more hesitant, unable to keep up for the full 12 rounds. Then came the exhibition against Rukia Anpo in 2024. That didn't ease Atlas's concerns either. It was supposed to be light work, but even then, Pacquiao didn't move like he used to. Atlas sees the writing on the wall.
Yo, so why is Mario Barrios fighting a 50-year-old and not Jerome Boots Ennis? See, this is the problem with boxing. Y'all over here fighting retired fighters and over the hill as washed-up fighters. Where are the 50-50 fights?
I just think you're playing with fire, he said. That's all I think. You could move around, navigate a little bit, say this, say that. But there comes a certain point with everything that no matter how much you move the furniture around, you still know what room you're in. You can't fool yourself. And he's in a room where he's 46 years old with 72 fights. Pacquiao's last real win was against Keith Thurman in 2019. That night was another highlight in a career filled with them. It proved that even past 40, Pacquiao could still fight at an elite level, but that was nearly 5 years ago.
Are you cool with Pacquiao against Mario Barrios?
I am. I'm cool with it. If I was cool with Manny Pacquiao coming back and fighting Keith Thurman, I'm definitely going to be cool with this one. Barrios is not a puncher. Thurman was one of the biggest punchers in boxing. I think he's going to be just fine with Mario Barrios, we know what he is on the top level. He comes up short. He's been stopped by fighters that are less than Manny Pacquiao and Davis. So I like this fight.
Since then, he hasn't had a sanctioned bout. The comeback now is a jump straight back into a world title scenario. Atlas doesn't argue with the fact that Pacquiao deserves a shot based on his resume. He agrees that few fighters have earned the right to skip the line more than Pacquiao. But that doesn't erase the risks. It doesn't slow down the aging process. It doesn't undo 72 professional fights over 2 decades.
But footage, guys, footage from the gym shows he has still speed. The old man's in shape. That's never been really the issue. He's never let himself really go, guys. He's still lean, still fast on camera, at least. Now, guys,
Not everyone sees it in the same light. Some still believe Pacquiao has tools to beat a younger fighter like Mario Barrios. On the May 21st episode of the Porter Way podcast, former 2-time world champion Sean Porter laid out exactly what he believes Pacquiao has to do. Porter spoke from a technical standpoint, focusing on how aging affects a fighter's rhythm and pace. As you get a little bit older, a boxer's speed slows down. Mentally, psychologically, you don't feel it. Your timing, it just slows down. That's time, Porter said. He doesn't think Pacquiao should try to stretch this fight out or pace himself. He believes Pacquiao has a limited gas tank and needs to spend it early. At 46 years old, you come out, and let's just say, hypothetically, your gas tank is half full at 46 years old. I'd rather use that half tank in 2 or 3 rounds and really get off on this kid, Porter said.
I don't know. I keep laughing about that fight. I don't know. I don't know if they exist. I don't know where the money would come from.
Who's paying the Pacquiao tax?
I don't know. I don't know anything about this. All I know is that it just seems the guy's almost 50 years old. I mean, come on. Was he 46, 47 years old?
Could he beat Barrios?
He's got the perfect style for Manny to do what he do, but the further that fight goes, the more Pacquiao's gas tank is going to go down. Sugar Ray Leonard also weighed in. Leonard knows what it's like to come back after time away. He came out of a long layoff himself, though he was still in his early 30s, far younger than Pacquiao is now. Leonard emphasized that it's not just physical. A fighter returning from a long break has to reset mentally, recondition the brain to take punches, and respond with split-second decisions under pressure. When I came back, I didn't realize it was 5 years I'd been out of the ring. You gotta get used to being hit. You gotta get used to being trained that hard at that level. It's a lot of things. It's more mental, more psychological than it is physical, Leonard said in an interview with Fight Hub TV.
Manny Pacquiao versus Mario Barrios? Okay, if this was for a massive bag, I get it. But you're fighting for a non-pay-per-view event, so you're going to be fighting for free against a guy like Manny Pacquiao. Why? There are plenty of other fights to be making. But yet we're getting Manny Pacquiao and Mario Barrios. Is Manny Pacquiao even ready to fight in the ring? Why is he... I get he still loves the sport, but listen. You are an all-time great, and a legend of the sport, a Hall of Famer.
For him, the challenge Pacquiao faces isn't just about cardio or muscle memory. It's about reacclimating the mind to what it means to be in combat. Boo Boy Fernandez, Pacquiao's longtime friend and trainer, responded to the critics in simple terms. He doesn't believe numbers should define the fight. "Don't judge the number, judge the punch," he said during an interview with Fight Hype. That line reflects the belief many in Pacquiao's inner circle hold. They're not pretending he's the same fighter he once was. They just believe that the timing, the reflexes, and the power are enough to matter if used correctly. The age matters less to them than what Pacquiao can still deliver inside the ring.
Yeah, it's surprising. Obviously, I know Manny very well. You know, he's a true competitor. He's a guy that if you put something in his head, and obviously to create more history, he's a guy that's going to give everything and try his best. That's what Manny. One thing I always learned with Manny is give 110% and try your best no matter what. So yeah, he's going to give it his all.
Meanwhile, Pacquiao hasn't wasted time responding to a recent call-out. Rolando "Rolly" Romero, the WBA regular welterweight title holder, recently named Pacquiao as a potential opponent. When asked about it, Pacquiao answered with a single word: "Who?" He hadn't seen Romero's loss to Ryan Garcia and made that clear. "No, I didn't see it." Pacquiao didn't offer much more than that. He didn't entertain the idea or dismiss it outright. Just a short reply, then moved on.
Peace and blessings, y'all. In this corner boxing 24. Why is Manny Pacquiao being allowed to come back and go straight to the top and fight Mario Barrios when Boots is trying to get that belt off of him and Brian Norman Jr.? Man, politics of boxing.
It showed a certain detachment, possibly suggesting that Romero isn't on Pacquiao's radar or that he simply doesn't think it's a fight worth considering. So we might just get one fight from him. Well, what do you think? Share your thoughts below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates.